You are listening to Venus Rose, interactive spiritual Q&A and the power of sound.
Music is like sunshine.
Hello, conscious souls. How are you feeling? The temperatures are rising steadily in my area. It is a bit dry, and I would love to have a night with rain for trees and plants. I enjoy the strawberries though, they are especially delicious this year. The energy of our so-called blue moon is already palpable. It is the second full moon this month, which occurs relatively rare. You might have heard the phrase "once in a blue moon" in a song before. This moon highlights mutable fire. Sagittarius full moon is energizing and is bringing a positive forward momentum. A hopeful energy that helps us to figure things out, how to make changes in our lives that are perhaps needed. Since Gemini season is in full-blown mode, our minds are in the focus of this mutable air sign. Its ruler planet Mercury is also still in his home sign and is emphasizing on communication in general. I decided to take a look at connecting, or better, how do you communicate to stay connected? Relationships, all forms of them, are, in my opinion, the most important themes of our lives. They are our playgrounds, the fields in which we experience ourselves with the help of other beings. Different kind of relationships, whether if it is a boss, a co-worker, a sibling, or a best friend, determine the various defining factors. And since we are all different in our structure and upbringing, the desires vary. So my question for today is, how do you stay in contact? Or how much communication do you need in order to feel connected to someone? For me personally, it depends heavily on what kind of relationship it is. If you have situations where things need to be handled on day-to-day basis, you might need a more frequent contact to maintain a certain structure or order. In this day and age, many stay connected through social media. Sometimes a picture says more than 1,000 words. But I like my phone. Maybe because sound is important to me. I simply love to hear someone's voice. You can feel their vibration better. To be honest, when I think about it, the closer the bond is between me and the being, oftentimes the less I hear from them. Although it might sound like a contradiction, on a soul level, connections are different. From a bigger perspective, we are all one. Then there are monads and oversouls, soul families, and so on. But this would be a topic for a whole new podcast in itself. What I want to say is, I do not hear from my besties too often. They are, like myself, responsible for many beings at once, and there is often not much time during a day. Sometimes a short voice message is left to let the other know that we are thinking about the other. I would love to be in contact more often, don't get me wrong, but the day has only 24 hours. On the other hand, when the bond is that close, you are never really apart. We sense each other, at least in a way that one is alerted when something important comes up for the other. In my one-on-one sessions, it is of course when family members or a friend has passed away, we we talk about that many still feel the connection. Oftentimes, a certain sign functions as a reminder for that special someone. It could be a song that somehow comes up frequently in the radio, or a specific wild animal that suddenly shows up. Dreams are the most common way souls who have already crossed over to a different plane stay in contact with their beloveds. One question I chose for today is, what if the communication in a connection is one-sided? I'm very fond of my longtime friend, but it seems I am the only one that is putting in an effort to arrange dates to meet, for example. Maybe I should let things go. Thank you for sending this question in. The funny thing is, one of my besties was talking about one of her old friendships, which is similar to what you described. And I myself have one, or maybe two connections that fall into that category. I think many of us have experienced a connection where you feel the communication is mainly coming from one side. A slight sense of disappointment is coming through while you are wondering. And I can understand that. I felt that too when I think about the past. Usually, in every kind of relationship, a sort of acknowledgement is present. Otherwise, the feelings and respect who are fuel for a friendship, for example, would not be given. But if these confirmations of whatever kind are lacking, you start to wonder, why am I the only one trying here? Sometimes it's not so easy to dissect the emotions that come up. I was asking myself first if I might lack of self-worth. Do I need something in return, or am I able to just give? And this is not much a difference in a friendship or a romantic relationship, although in the romantic ones everything is so much more intense, as we all know. The energy that comes off from your question is warm, and when you feel good when you are with that person, in my eyes, there is no need to let it all go. But you don't have to do so much if the other person does not. You could just leave it, and you will see if the person one day realizes that you are not calling them anymore. Humans are creatures of habit. If they are used to a certain dynamic, the most likely won't change it if you keep a certain frequency going. Perhaps they have not noticed it. You could also ask them, tell them how you feel, and see how they respond. Maybe they are lost in work, or other things, or as I said, are simply so used to the fact that you approach them that they have not noticed. It might disturb you. After that conversation, you will then notice if they make an effort for things to be more balanced, and if the love, so to speak, is mutual or not. What is time? In the English language, it is spent. Like you can spend money, for example, so it has value. A tremendous one, I'd say, because you will never get it back. So think about it carefully, with whom you want to spend your time with. That's the way I handle it. I may ask, but if nothing comes back, no response, no gesture of any kind, you know how important or not you are for that particular person. There can be a special phase in life, like when someone got a baby, for example. We all have an understanding, but you can at least say, I will get back at you as soon as my time permits. There are people who somehow almost never reach out. There can be several reasons. Sometimes they feel ashamed because they did not say hello earlier, then time goes by, and so on. With one of my childhood friends, Spirit just let us both bump into each other on the street after years. Since then, we are both happy to be in each other's life and reach out to each other in a balanced way. I love to hear from you. Gemini energy is ruling. Communication is still the key theme. There are still many ways to look at it. You can leave questions in the comments of my YouTube channel named Crystal Seraphim Sounds or my Instagram. And for those of you who do not have social media and love to send questions or would like to book a one-on-one session to go on a soul sound journey with me, send me an email for further details. You can find everything in the show notes. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you a beautiful weekend. Love to you all. Rose.